I think Muslims and Christians around the world have changed their views of each other quite dramatically in, say, the last decade. It isn't just the tragedy of 9/11 that was an important factor, but in addition, the experience of globalization itself is very important. You have people interacting in ways that 50 years ago simply didn't happen. Part of the real change of the last, say, couple of decades is that Muslim-Christian relations used to either be broad civilizational or individual matters of an individual Christian and an individual Muslim meeting together. Nowadays, one of the most important areas of Muslim-Christian relations is inter-community dialogue and inter-community interaction, and this makes a big difference. One of the lessons that I've learned in working in Muslim-Christian relations now for at least 2 or 3 decades and teaching about Islam in the United States for now half a century is that what it means to talk about interfaith dialogue has changed dramatically in the last half century. I like to say that one of my major tasks is to bring an end to Muslim-Christian dialogue. And when I say that, what I mean is that the phrase Muslim-Christian dialogue implies that Muslims are on one side of the table and Christians are on the other side of the table, and you have two groups, two separate, clearly identifiable groups that are talking to each other. On the basis of my own experience in working in this general area, what I've discovered is that the real dialogue, the two different bodies, are not identifiable as Muslim on one side and Christian on the other. Instead, what you have are the people who express their religious experience in open, inclusive, and pluralist terms, and people who express their religious experience in exclusivist and isolationist terms. So that there are many of my Muslim colleagues that I feel I share their religious experience in a way that that I do not share my religious experience with some people who are labeled as Christian. And so that the real dialogue in the world today is not between the old traditional religious communities that are bounded by the old-fashioned definitions of what it means to be a Muslim or what it means to be a Christian, but rather the real dialogue has to be between those who see religion and who see human life as open, inclusive, engaging in pluralism, recognizing diversity, as opposed to those who want to have human beings put into closed lock boxes. And that's the dialogue that is really important. And in that, my experience is that some of the strongest allies that I have in talking with my exclusivist Christian friends are some of my Muslim inclusivist friends. That the real lesson is that rather than dialogue, what we need to do is to encourage conversation in which religious experience is shared.